What are you yelling about?
Remember I told you that like I read out. So I just grabbed another notebook.
Yeah?
Oh. I took that notebook out.
Well, you can't have your notes for this.
Yeah, you can't have your notes for lab, so it doesn't matter. Well, I'm not collecting openings today. Huh? Depends on if we have an odd number. If we have an odd number, yes. I'll make you the group of 3.
This wall, she's gonna have a note, but Joyce said guidance. What do we use for acetate?
I would. Some people write it for CH3COO, but I don't. What? Your reference. So, do you need to borrow one for a while?
Yeah.
I just did it in my first blog.
And a banana. My mom cried.
I'm so scared to tell your mom was like, she was like,
The whole every time you talk. And I was like, imagine having every single class with her just feeling together. Yay.
Let's do it.
Did you do your outline?
no, and yes, and no.
They were due.
We did, yeah. So, I mean,
That's all you need.
okay, cool.
I thought it was supposed to be information. And it's not supposed to be information. It's supposed to be how you can write it. Like,
Right here, because right here.
So what'd you do this weekend?
Dance or something.
Was it fun? I'm not saying it'd be fun, though.
She's long.
I went whitewater rafting yesterday, and I fell out of my raft, and I thought I was dead. I really did. I really died.
Life jacket?
I mean, I did, but like, I thought I was okay, and I was trying to yell, okay, I'm okay. But all you heard was, because I was falling, current just kept pulling me under. It was not great. I didn't enjoy it. And it was a lot of fun. How'd you like that large bracket knowledge? How'd you like that large bracket?
And then Odessa called, right? And said like, well, if she would have got no whipped cream, then it would have been more. Give me the option. I'm thinking I'm gonna get a regular bracket. I didn't know.
Why were you mad about it though? That's awesome. You got a lot.
I did not have a lot.
Oh, you had it drinking?
Yes, they kind of, yeah.
You had it drinking. I thought you had already drank some. And you just got that
I
stuff.
didn't. I got it.
Alright, who is missing today? If I can't log in Power School, I gotta do it manually. So Joyce is in guidance?
Yeah.
Count 25. What about Noah? Noah's not here.
Where's and then you said no, and then if it won't work, you can't
Alejandro's not here.
Alejandro is here.
Alejandro.
Oh, where is it? Did you miss him as well?
Of course.
I know.
I didn't.
Just not the same without you.
Check your records.
Yeah, y'all was not even lit. I was like, I think we were all tired.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
The video was so boring. Y'all didn't talk about anything.
Now, Alicia, track and stuff, when you message me about it, because I don't know track terms, and I need you to tell me in dummier terms so I can tweet about it, but I always feel so bad because I can't say track got state champions, because like, y'all did it just like y'all, you know what I mean? Like I can't, and so I always feel bad because I don't know what to tweet.
I didn't even know you were over there. I didn't know you were.
I'm not over the sports account, I'm over the school account.
Oh.
It's like, you know how I'm the one that tweets the names, tailgates,
We're
that
just
type of
there
stuff.
besides
And I do
all
when
100
people
and
win like big things, but I don't know how y'all won. I just know y'all did.
Joyce is who I'm missing on my account. Thank you.
What's that? How do you write that?
It's in the reference.
Is it the C2H?
Yeah. Caleb, what a river was. What a river was. Yeah. What's the dice, Caleb? I went to a party Saturday night. I worked Friday when I babysitted Friday. Saturday I went to a party.
Annabelle, did you actually do the opening and be quiet?
I wrote it, but I don't think it's right.
Well, I just need the little the letters because
Right.
can you just tell us the spell scripts? Because I'm not smart enough to know this. And like I don't know my reference.
Find your oxidation numbers. You're gonna be able to do this on the quiz tomorrow. You gotta be able to do it in the lab today. Or your lab partner does.
I mean, I could do it, right? But
Then I want
not
you to
with the
do it.
words. I need the letters.
That was the thing.
No, I hate you.
Is Z? Zinc insoluble.
Say what?
Zinc insoluble.
Zinc by itself is not insoluble. What's it with? Zinc is a solid. No. You put salt. Zinc is metal.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I was ready to quit on the spot. They would let me leave early. People would come in. I didn't have to break it before. Sorry, I can't. She can keep her credit. Yeah. Phone ringing, y'all say no. I'm just start saying no. Awesome, bitch. You were on the door. I'm like stupid. I know people got a job like medicine. That's how it is.
I thought you were talking about one.
Also, I can't find my reference.
That's what I thought. I thought
That's disrespectful.
Alright, can we look at which came up better?
You can't tell me.
No.
Yes, honestly, we would have to fight.
So you give me the letters and I know the words. That's why I was like.
Alright, so if we look at the first one, how do we write barium nitrate?
BA.
BA. I'm gonna do it on the next board. So BA, NO3 with a 2, plus 2 minus 1. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay? And what I add to it? Aluminum acetate. All right, aluminum has a plus 3. Acetate is C2H3 O2. Now you can use the other formula on the sheet, that's CH3COO. I typically don't because having them all separated annoys me. All right. Thank you, my dear. All right. So when you bring the 3 down, you have that, and then AQ. All right. The first step was to double displace. So double displace the reaction. What do you wind up with?
Barium acetate.
All right. So barium with acetate. Again, the only numbers that come across are those that belong with the polyatomic ion. Aluminum with nitrate. What do we have to do? Write in the oxidation numbers. So plus 2, minus 1, plus 3, minus 1.
Silly.
I don't know why that went back. Bring your 3 down, bring your 2 down. Now, from there, what do we need next? States. All right. So, aqueous or solid, and aqueous or solid. So, what does it say about all acetates? They're soluble. What does it say about all nitrates? They're soluble. So, what do you know about this reaction? Every single thing's going to cancel out.
Yes.
Will there be a net ionic reaction?
No.
No. What about all those ions? They're all spectators. Every single thing in it is aqueous. So your spectators are all of these ions. Okay? So your spectators will be Ba plus 2, C2, H3, O2 with a minus 1, and aluminum and nitrate. I did not do that to you in the lab. You will have a solid in your equation. Okay? But both of those are aqueous, so everything is a spectator. There would be no solid, no precipitate in that equation. Everything is aqueous. Okay? Questions?
For the lab, when you say like this lab, do you actually mean we're gonna be doing stuff, or is it like that lab but it was just that puzzle game?
No, you're actually going to mix
Okay.
stuff together.
Okay, that's fun.
All right, everybody got it?
Yeah.
So you have to write all these models out, or do you just go?
Say what?
You have to write them all out.
No, you'll have to write them all out.
You are gonna have to?
I did my homework really
Yeah,
well.
if you don't write out the ions and you don't put the states in and the oxidation numbers, I would take off all of your points.
Okay.
It would be minus 10 on the lab.
So are you checking homework?
No.
I did. Okay, I did.
All right, number 2, zinc plus hydrochloric acid. I did not put the states in on purpose so that you had to figure them out. All right, so zinc is a what? It's a metal, so what state will it have?
Solid.
It's a solid. Acid is hydrochloric acid. What state do you think an acid is? Aqueous. All acids are dissolved in water. Okay? Now, what kind of reaction is this one? Single displacement. How do we single displace? Oxidation numbers, and you're still switching. So what is zinc's oxidation number? Plus 2. Hydrogen? Who? Plus 1. It's first. I heard a minus 1. Hydrogen has not been minus 1 yet. It's not going to be minus 1. Chlorine is what? It's in group 17. It's minus 1. Who's switching? Zinc and chlorine. Annabelle, if you don't hush, I'm going to move you to the back so I don't hear you. All right? Zinc and...
I can't hear me. My voice is gone.
I can hear you. All right? I might be old, but I'm not deaf yet. So, zinc and hydrogen are going to switch. So, what 2 products am I going to wind up with? All right, zinc and chlorine. Good. And what else? Plus hydrogen. All right, so this is a compound. So, what do I have to do to it? Check your oxidation number. So, zinc has a what? Plus 2, and chlorine has a what? Negative 1. So, bring your 2 down. Hydrogen's by itself. What do you always do? Check, see if it's diatomic, is it? Yes, put a 2 on it. Now, just like last week, what do we do for zinc chloride? Check your solubility. All chlorides are what? Soluble, except Silver, lead, and mercury. Is zinc silver, lead, or mercury? No. So what do you put on it? Aqueous. All right. What do we know about hydrogen? It's a gas. What do I write on it? We write gas. Okay? Now, from this point, we're writing to get a net ionic. What is the only thing we dissociate? The aqueous. Okay? So, let me change this. So I've got space to work it on this
So we
board.
mark out everything else, right?
We mark out everything except,
For HCl.
all right, so zinc is a solid. Am I going to do anything to it?
No.
No, I'm going to write it as an S. Plus, this is aqueous, so I'm doing what to it? Breaking it apart. All right, ZnCl2 is aqueous. I'm going to do what to it? I'm going to do what to it? Break it apart because it's aqueous. And then H2 is a gas. So I'll just write it down. Now, this time, how many spectators do I have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 4. 1.
Two.
2. 4. Yes.
What has to be the same to be the spectator? The state and the oxidation number.
So you have 1.
Give me a one.
It's just CO.
It's only chlorine. Look at the states.
Aqueous.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Gas, aqueous. Aqueous, solid. Do the states match?
No.
No. Chlorines match. Chlorine has -1 and aqueous. -1 and aqueous. Those are your spectators. That's the only thing that's a spectator, so it cancels. But zinc is a solid on one side and aqueous on the other. It's not a spectator. Hydrogen is aqueous on the reactant side and a gas on the product side. It's not a spectator. Okay? So, my net ionic is zinc. That is a solid. Plus hydrogen. That is aqueous. And it becomes zinc. That is aqueous. Plus hydrogen. That is a gas. Okay? That's your net ionic. Questions?
What did you just drop as far as rebalance stages?
Yes. All right. So now that we have that, is the equation balanced?
No.
No. So when you look at it, the only thing that doesn't balance is your H. So now we just need to put a
2.
2 in front of the
H.
H. Like I've told several people, odds are very good that I will not notice that it's not balanced in the double displacement reaction. Okay? But if we go back, we need a 2 there.
Mrs. Ball,
Yes.
the thing you took is right at the bottom is a net ionic reaction.
Yes, that is correct. And the things that we boxed in there for the spectators, your spectators will be
See?
just Cl -1 aqueous. That's your spectator.
So if it's the same thing, we can just write it once.
Yes.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
balancing, you don't have to pay attention to oxidation.
If you've written it correctly, the oxidation numbers will take care of themselves because this is 2 times +1, which gives you what oxidation number total on that side. 2 times a +1 is how many positives? 2 positives. And how many positives are on this side? 2 positives. So they'll take care of themselves if you've written it correctly. The total on the left has to equal the total on the right. The oxidation numbers, yes.
The oxidation numbers don't equal that.
No, that's correct.
Okay, because like the end doesn't have an oxidation.
That's right. So this is 0, and this is +2. So the total on the reactant side is +2. And so this is +2, and that's 0. So the total on this side is +2. So the reactant side has a +2, the product side has a total of +2.
So the oxidation numbers.
The actual number does not have to be the same. The total on the left has to equal the total on the right. As long as the totals are equal, it's balanced.
Okay, so we don't pay attention to that.
You do not have to pay attention to the actual number, as long as the total on the left equals the total on the right. If you've written the net ionic correctly, the oxidation numbers will automatically balance themselves. Now you can check the oxidation number totals as a way to double check that your net ionic is correct. But if you've written the net ionic correctly, the oxidation numbers will take care of themselves. Okay? Anybody else have a question on this before we talk about homework? No?
Are we gonna have an open every day this week?
Yes.
Okay, then we'll pick it up on Friday.
Yes, or I'll take it up next week. We may have slightly more than 10. I haven't decided yet.
Oh, because we won't get it in, we only have 9 more days left.
Yes.
And finish 14. I deal with that.
Yeah, I'm not going to go to 14. I won't go all the way to Friday of next week. That I know.
12.
Huh?
Probably won't have one the day of the senior assembly.
We won't. Yeah, we will, because we will.
You know how long that's gonna be this week?
Yeah, we're after senior assembly. We're after
Because you
the
know what they're
afternoon.
doing? They're going through every single student in that class, whether they got scholarship in college or not, and they're gonna be like Maryland, she didn't get a scholarship. They're like, Maryland Calca, going to Chapel Hill, scholarship of 0. Or like, they just say every because they wanted because so many people did get scholarships this year.
They just need to recognize people that did get scholarships. You remember how many girls they called TJ Carter's name last
That's why they're
year?
doing that, because they're gonna take all the scholarships at once. But now that since they're doing everyone in the class, it's going to take 17.
Well, okay, how
All right. So I did not. All right. I did not write the spectator species on my key. I wrote the double displacement and the net. Okay. I wrote the double displacement and the net on my key. Can probably make it a little bigger. Yep, you can. Okay.
Why you keep coming at me?
I gave that to y'all on Friday.
Can you see that? Okay, good. Thank you. I'm lost.
And odds are good my double displacement is not balanced. Because again, I'm assuming at this point you can balance the double displacement.
Wait, so we're not gonna change it to H2O?
Now you can leave it as HOH. You can change it to H2O, I don't care. Alright, and again, for those of you who are just talking and not listening, there's I'll put your phone up. The double displacement is probably not balanced up there. Like I told you the other day, at this point, if you can't balance, we need to go into the exam pretending everyone can balance, whether you can or cannot. I do not want to know.
I know how to do it. It's just gonna be a matter of it's just me careless after 5.
I don't think you will see something that's ridiculously hard to balance. No. But they're just checking for basic skills. They're not looking for something that is so hard to balance they're going to stump you.
They're not born, Miss Wall.
I don't think so. Are there questions on any of the 4?
I just know I did it wrong.
Any issues with any of the 4? Going once. Going twice.
So,
All right. Let's talk about the lab.
why didn't we have to do a report? Like, I'm not.
Because I didn't want to give you a ton of them. If you can do 2 or 3, you should be able to do the whole page. All right. Now, the lab is our last practice with this. You have a quiz on this stuff tomorrow. You will get a periodic table and an oxidation sheet, and that is all. Okay? Sorry. I made the reference to the left oxidation sheet. I misspoke. You know you're not getting an oxidation sheet. That is so not happening.
That is so not happening.
You guys are louder.
Now, there is no lab report on this. It's being graded for writing wrong answers. If you write down the wrong equation, you leave off an oxidation number, you leave off a state. Every question is worth, the data table is worth 40. Each equation is worth 10 points. It should be a very high scoring lab.
Really, you pick it up?
It usually is.
Okay.
All right, on the front page, in looking at the directions, I'm going to tell you how to add your chemicals so that you don't contaminate my bottles. Because if you mess up the silver nitrate, I'm going to get really, really pissed. All right? This small bottle of silver nitrate probably costs about $100. Okay? It's incredibly expensive. The silver nitrate that we have, I have purchased one bottle since I've been here, and I keep diluting it. Okay? It's very expensive. We've probably spent no more than $200 in the 28 years I've been here to buy it. Okay? I just buy it and dilute it because it's so expensive. So when you go to add things to the test tube, you do not stick this down in the test tube. You hold the dropper above the test tube and add your drops. Okay? The reason for that is if this dropper never touches that test tube, can you contaminate this dropper?
No.
No. So when you put this dropper back inside of this bottle, has this dropper ever been contaminated by touching that test tube? No. Okay? So when you add the next chemical, which is HCl, you're going to do the same thing, meaning this dropper never gets back in here with any of the chemicals that are in that test tube. Okay? You do not stick any of those droppers close enough to this test tube that those chemicals can be transferred back to those bottles. Are we good on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, once you have added what it tells you to, and everybody pay attention to the way the directions are worded. All right? And number one, it tells you to put approximately 20 drops of lead nitrate. It doesn't matter if it's less. Try not to go over the 20 drops though. All right? Carefully add 1 milliliter of Ki to that test tube. It's important that you add the correct chemicals together in the test tube. Otherwise, it's a complete waste. All right? Place 1 milliliter of silver nitrate in the other test tube. No, you don't need to write on the test tube. One partner keep track of the lead test tube, and one partner keep track of the silver test tube. All right? And then carefully add. Now, let me explain the centrifuge. Now, if you've put the right number of drops in, your test tubes will be balanced. They'll have roughly the same amount of water or chemicals in them. All right? Now, if you use the one that looks like a flying spaceship here, this one, I don't have any idea how old this is. It came with plastic. Best guess is it's probably from the 60s. All right? Turn it up to about 4 and let it spin for about a minute and a half.
Crazy.
Okay?
What happened?
There's 2 test tube holders in here. So the test tubes are the test tube holders. There's a dial right here. Turn it up to about 4. Let it spin. All right? It's like the gravitron machine at the fair.
I cried on that so much. I thought it was.
Okay?
Oh
Just
my God,
spin
that's
the test tube. And then turn it off after you've let it spin for a minute and a half. Leave the top down. Do not stick your fingers in here and break my centrifuge. Because then I'm going to be even more pissed than I am about silver nitrate. Okay? We can't afford to replace them. Those of you who don't know that we're in debt, we're in big debt. Can I afford to replace the equipment? I've already had to try to repair that one today because somebody played with it and stuck something in it. I
Was it
think
for
I
the
repaired it.
Wait, so that one does the same thing?
The only difference is that one has 6 holes, and I'm going to talk about in a minute. Now, when you lift it, it'll be done. Now, take your 2 little test tubes out, and they'll be centrifuged. Now, and then you can record what it looks like. Now, if you're using this one, there are 6 wells here. Here you have to make sure they're balanced. It's easy over there. There are only 2 holes, one in one side and one in the other is automatically balanced. Now, in this one, there's 6 holes. Now, if you come back here and there's 3 people, each of you can put in your test tubes They're numbered so you can keep track of which hole you put your test tube in. But let's say I'm Kevin and I'm the first person back here, there's nobody waiting.
Yes.
And I want to centrifuge my test tubes. If I put this one in well 6, my other test tube has to be balanced. It has to go directly across from it. So I have to go in well 3. They have to go across. It's not hard, okay?
Yeah.
Across from each other. Put it down, hit start, and again, for somewhere in the vicinity of a minute and a half,
What are they doing?
and let it spin.
They heat up?
No, they're spinning.
Oh.
That's all they're doing. They're spinning in a circle.
I'm so afraid that space one's just gonna blow.
It's not gonna blow up, okay? So, just let it spin, let it do its thing. And after a minute and a half, turn it off. Again, don't lift the lid, don't stick your fingers in it. Let it stop on its own, okay? Once it's done,
How does it mix? I don't see anything happen.
It's just spinning.
it's just spinning.
Y'all, I
Like a
swear,
microwave.
somebody said mix.
Now, once you're done, you're gonna have a silver to lead compound. See this really skanky looking beaker back here? Some lovely looking, skanky looking glass rods. Scrape your chemicals off the bottom of your test tube and dump them in there. You do not have to wash the glassware. You just put them back in the basket. I've got somebody who's going to clean that for me.
Is it for credit card?
No, it's not extra credit. It's a young man who comes and washes all my glassware every time I have it. Now,
So sweet.
yes it is.
Does he
Very
go here?
nice. Huh?
Does he go here?
Yes, he does. Now, put them back in the basket. I will clean it up during third period and take care of getting the baskets cleaned up. I have one group of 3. Dylan, Victory, and Takira are my group of 3. Everybody else is a group of 2. There are 6 baskets. There is 1 basket per 6 counters. Every basket has enough for 2 groups.
I'll get off.
If you happen to break a test tube, let me know. All right?
Whoopsies.
I will tell you, if you get silver nitrate on your hands, it will leave brown spots. So don't be, no, for a few days. So don't be shocked if your fingers turn brown later.
My fingers are turn brown.
Get your apron and your goggles.
Really?
And you only have 45 minutes maximum to do this. Maybe less. Work quickly.
I'll get her time.
Miss Wall,
Yeah.
you work here?
Yeah.
All right. I love being close to Miss Wall.
You just slide the green back.
No, don't do that. Miss Wall,
This wall.
Yeah.
What are these little holes on the table for?
They're actually for physics polls, but we asked them not to put them in, they did it anyway.
I'll put my pictures in
What? There should be 1 basket on every counter. Can I get off the counter? So where's the second basket that's on another counter? There should be 1 per lab counter. It's on the back table, somebody returned it. They figured out they didn't need it. Oh, that's right. We haven't even numbered now that Joyce is back. Go stack somebody out of my group of three. Pick the one you want out of my group of three. My group of three is about to be broken up. Chris is picking somebody out of y'all. I don't care which one of them.
No, it's an even number.
So, Victory, Kira, or Dylan, Chris is picking one of y'all.
Yeah, I got fixed.
Yeah, you got to pick. They can pick. Don't matter to me.
Pick it.
I'm just trying to focus on squeezing here.
Four test tubes. Here, Victory's standing right there. Take her. There's 4 test tubes for you. You can pick any counter you want. There's your 4 test tubes, and the chemicals are over there.
So do you want us to put 20 drops or less?
You can go less than 20. It won't make any difference.
So how much less would you want us to do?
Let's just get 20. What is this? What? As HCl, that's AgNO3.
It's a color.
It says that it's not ready.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to do that.
Oh, it's got it.
You want to do it? Pretty good. We'll do 15.
Or the chart, do we have to do a complete sentences or just cloudy, colder?
You don't have to use complete sentences.
6, 7, 8. Barbara.
Are you gonna make that blue one?
Okay.
Warmer.
I got like nitrate on my hand.
Walmart should just wash your hands before you eat.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna turn yellow.
Nah, it's gonna take yellow.
Shut up.
There's
Very interesting.
We're done. Maybe I should like
50 seconds.
Doesn't have to be exact. You can go boy.
What?
Miss Wall,
What?
but I see there's like small particles of yellow. Okay. Oh. Oh, you're right.
Well,
Yeah.
to make sure that I can't get anything right on this. This is okay. Yeah, this is okay.
What's that say? Really? Spell that word. You know the right word, but it's not spelled right.
Oh, did you get it? Like it was. I'm walking on air. Alright, here. Oh, girl, looking at the
Big wall.
Yeah.
You have to make complete sentences.
No.
What did we do this? It is definitely everything I did. Well, I died.
Probably not.
Okay.
I said jump.
Why would you want to mark this last year?
Take something else. They're usually things more.
I put more break on now, still a little
I
hard.
got strep throat and flu. Don't like to get one road when I could not.
Yes, it's transparent.
That's why I use emergency.
And it looks like sand.
I know you are fake.
I'm harassing it.
You enjoy having to deal with me on it.
Honestly, as a person, yes.
You miss me as much as you miss Miss Hudgens.
Well,
You're probably right.
as well, that we did PARTICIPATE.
PERCIP.
Oh.
PERCIPITATE. Precipitate.
I thought it was participate.
Precipitate. Like rain. Spelled the same way as like rain. Precipitate.
Not
Spelled the same.
precipitate.
Precipitate. I'm talking about like participated.
And then I wrote right there with the yellow thing. And I put W slash. So I can have it back right on.
Right, just no sense. And the inner right. That was it. And you kind of explain what you're gonna talk about. I just put a boiling like how I get the lake and that's what
Just out of curiosity, why some of y'all have garbage in top of your heads?
I don't know, mine are on my eye.
Joy, Linda, Addison, why y'all all got goggles on top of your heads? Then, Addison, put your goggles on your eyeballs. Trish, you got the test tube almost in your face.
How do I
Look,
take
look at
this
that.
out?
You and Allie over there. Look at Allie. Look at the bottom of the test tube. And got her goggles on her forehead.
Miss Ball.
Oh.
Miss Ball, how do I take this out?
Stick the flash rod in it and stir it up.
No.
But I guess I would say. It looks like a bird.
Yeah, once you make your observations, you can dump it out.
Where?
In the beaker's back that I told you about. Can you look at beakers?
It was just making bigger messes. You got yellow.
So what? Nope, not today.
What is it?
It's been a good minute.
I know.
Sir, why are you wandering around in my room? Because it's my room, that's why I'm worried about it.
Where'd I put these batteries?
In the
So like, is that how cocaine is made this small?
What?
Is that how cocaine is made?
Gotta go in here.
It's operation. Salt and water. Oh, wait.
Can I get a paper towel?
You know, like when you put salt and water and the evaporation happens and when it's out there?
The white, that would be evaporation.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's not evaporation.
Yeah, but I said it's kind of like it. You know, like the water didn't go away for like
The sauna liquid is best to be quiet while you're in bed. Hey, how are you?
After the centrifuge, did you say that you can see? Sure.
Look at you big word.
Right.
This ball, what if you mix these two? What happened? Nothing. Oh, just be a waste. Nothing.
Oh.
Well, what would I call the water type? Just a mix of Ki and HENO3.
This wall, you say you can try it?
Yep. Today go to last day, we'll make up all of them. I'll be here today, Wednesday, and Thursday. Today and Wednesday is old makeup work, and Thursday is recent makeup
Because it's only you and this something you want to do.
Can I steal your chair?
Yeah. Why are you carrying around dirty glassware with the garbage can for you? You can't? Put your goggles on your eyeballs. What are you doing? Now you're rinse away. How about in the sink you're at?
Yeah.
Just a thought. You know, you
You
gotta
know,
say
my
something.
water bottle. Well, she said that's but we'll make the sip, that's the question.
Sarah Lynn, Annabelle group over there. Y'all all done the lab?
Yes.
Y'all put your chemicals back on the table. Y'all can take all that glass, all that safety stuff off. Unless you just enjoy wearing it.
Yeah.
Okay, keep it on. Madison, why you got that skin on your forehead here? Y'all done? Y'all tested? Okay. Don't put all the stuff back on the table and you can take it off and I quit yelling at you.
Would it be HB plus?
Put the basket and everything back there on the table. You can put it up and I will quit yelling.
This wall.
That's all you need. And then you don't have to wear it.
This wall. Yeah. We're not allowed to use the notes, right?
No, no notes. Just your brain. Why are you sitting here at my desk? I'm not gonna help you. I'm not helping you. You got Rosanna. There, now you can take it off. Put the basket back there on the table. And then I can clean up. Just beware.
Don't use that sink. I'm trying to sink.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll wear a long one.
Okay.
Y'all know it's substitute, still substitute, where we at?
We are.
Okay.
Y'all know. Everybody substitutes, right?
Yeah, it didn't make what? Just all up.
You two gonna mush on, you got time to do
Do we have to find the oxidation?
Bro, it'd be plus one, it'd be plus one.
Anybody got a
Alright, you guys bring your baskets back if you're done with them.
But they are solid, so it must be against the difference. No, wait. Silver lead.
Oh, man.
Should.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Not just PB.
Maybe 1, then 2, then 3. Oxidation is right.
Yeah.
And other H2, which are positive things. So I just
Well, what do you need? I got a reaction.
You know I'm not gonna tell you that. Not going to. Because that's part of what I'm learning today. You know that.
Why are you asking about this? Why are you asking about
No recall.
There was no place. Did you say?
I was so mad too. I don't care. Here's why I don't.
Oh,
They're shit together. Because I was trying to study these sites. And I was working on it. I'm now like a week before school. I went to class, so I wasted my time. Like,
Nope.
No, because.
Nope. Don't need $1 that bad. How that poor man.
Yes, the question is not recall.
Do not recall anything at the moment.
It doesn't matter if it's
It's terrible at my age. Memory is the first thing to go.
You just have to see if it cancels out. It doesn't
We didn't say your word.
so like CL is a diatomic. Do we put 2 right there at the dot?
I do not recall. You got 3 people right there that you're working with. I do not recall.
Since CL Robert got with 2 and we balance accordingly.
You know, every time
Yeah, my boys are on
they're so serious.
Rosanna, work here.
That's still on shape. Just these two.
I'm trying to help your heart out. So I have a question. I'm not right. But no, that's different. But is that right?
Hey, Chris, Patricia, can I trouble you for the safety cookies so I can sterilize them?
No, it's she said on my tree. All the warnings on the side and all the well, I mean, sometimes it'll be that, but it says in all three is nitrogen. All nitrates, acetate, are solid.
Hey, you still got safety equipment over there?
Yeah.
Can I have it so I can sterilize it and get it done? Please.
Start crying.
Why? Did I ask for the safety?
No, because listen, because last week and stuff, I thought you said it's up because it's in front and crap, you're like, kind of off the you barely away and bring it. That was quick. Right?
I never got it.
What? When can you tell me?
Is that, you don't get points off for this?
Now she's walking away.
You know what, after
Yeah, this is why it's She's not gonna help you.
You can't play because they're both negative.
Biology video.
I know, right? I should. I'm like, put it up on. I think you do. Do it. I know this is not designed to take my seat. What are you?
Oh, yeah.
That would be a huge mistake. That's wrong.
I think that was okay. I think that's wrong.
You know, what did I try to tell you? You never want to listen. You gotta go ask the teacher. And I'm trying to tell you that you can't do it because that means you're going to be negative. But you just have to walk away so I can finish my sentence.
BBNO3, is that a solid or a?
You should solely build a sheet. Figure it out.
I did, and this one told me I'm wrong. Okay, figure out.
What did you say it was?
She was like,
Yes. Yeah, when you're done, bring it here.
So this is the last one.
Was it a bumble?
Right?
Wait, are you?
I'm gonna jump off the bridge.
Make sure you have a soft landing if you're going to.
No, like, where's the HCL still stop drinking?
Wait, Miss Ball?
You already have stomach acid in your stomach, so it's not going to do a whole lot. What?
Hundreds only.
I don't know. Does that work?
If you bring it up, that's supposed to do that.
Do we leave something?
Okay, so like, whenever. All we're doing is breaking it apart. We're not like changing
Wait, no. Miss Paul, you said anything in group one is solid, right?
Nope.
Oh. So this was AQ also? The mom, this would be AQ.
Oh, you can erase them.
Yeah.
The PV.
No, this would be AQ also. This is right.
Oh, God.
She's Miss Wall said Amanda. And yes. Oh, you're right.
She is right.
Please and that. You're one while I is in group seven. So I can't swap.
Yep.
That was one.
Did you write down observation?
Okay, so then you have, you said the second column. Oh, so it's like, the H. Well, I mean, it is on the side. It's on this side. We did change that.
Okay, so
On this side, on the reactant side, it's always going to be aqueous when you just say.
yes.
Unless
Another sheet of paper.
Work step? That'd be fabulous.
No, we got.
No, I'd rather the spectator and the net be on the, lab sheet and the question along the work step, I'd rather not be on the web sheet.
Isn't the work step?
Just while you have paper.
What number, what questions do you want today?
She just wants the answer, write the work on different piece of paper.
Yeah, I really just want the answer from the lab sheet. Yeah, I could care less about the work steps. I don't need to see the work. I just need the answers to the questions.
Hey, if I show you this video I did from Miss Orville's class packet.
No. No. I don't care
Video
what
for your class.
show.
Yeah, I will probably make a video for your class. Can I get?
No, I don't get extra credit. I'm believing it.
I believe in it.
It's great.
You just need a little extra.
Yeah. That's my computer. Okay. And what if I don't get this that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still sounding.
I was not being sarcastic. Anyways.
I didn't know. Get rid of the senior center.
Oh, it's me. I also did that.
You're not doing more than you would never shoot.
Yeah, we did.
Well, I'm gonna be really surprised. And after we showed
Trying to think.
Okay, I did that after.
That's scribbled out.
It's not good.
It's supposed to be. You got two guys. Wow. You got two.
You don't have to
Solve there. So the ones that work step, I don't need the work step. I only need the equation above. Yeah. So the work step is below. Nope. You can get it.
Yeah. Why are you putting it? She doesn't need your work on this paper. This won't work. This is just good.
That's the right.
So it's right both precipitation and reaction. I'm
Using all the correct space and balance to react.
Yeah. Just bring it back to the emphasis for that. I have to hide the period. Huh? These spears are all over the counter when we're on a city.
I would have said that.
The north. You don't have to German, so I just put it on. I can't explain that. Each of
Right out the action, but like. Reaction,
Just scared them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't even see all of this. We're 11.
That's my mom.
Everyone gets about it.
Those of you still working should be finishing up.
How much time do you have?
I'll give you about 5 more minutes. Yeah. I need to bet eye, and I need the spectators. That's it.
I had ordered. We don't order it all the time. Yeah.
They left it out. No. They could have that. They could have something there, like, animal size, like, you know, where that is. Yeah. So, like, even though they're not, like, no, they can come back, they moved the table. And then they ordered it, they got the same amount.
Yep.
The kids go to their
Number 3, do we also have to include the state of knowledge?
Not right now.
Alright. I'm gonna have my ear taken off.
Yeah.
How much time are you
How much time what?
giving him?
They're getting ready to have to turn it in.
I was gonna ask you to take the days and record line. He needs to hit one. We have 9 days left.
I have the chicken option, that's it.
I mean, whoa. Sassy.
You can't even put your toe in it.
It's size 10.
Yes, and I'm saying
All right, I need lab papers.
I really want to go through it. It's like,
it's like a mini, but I couldn't hear it.
But I want you to, but like, I don't think that's right. Wait. Hey, to go to the phone with him.
I got this,
I didn't worry about going to the house, like, too slow. What's that?
Yeah, I'm either going to there tomorrow.
Kyle.
I don't know, it's because you know the type of what if I would have gotten what meeting? Something I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. If I were you asking me, you know what it is. So we're going home. For me?
All right, my people are still working. I need these papers.
I'm sorry. Like, you know, bored outside of school.
I only showed up for my
Yeah, don't put it in the stack.
Horizontal stuff, Alondra's done or not done?
They're not gonna
Alondra, you're done.
Well, they will, because
Faith is not done. Nadia, you're done. Yes.
It's small, can I keep asking? Yeah, I showed up. Yeah, it was optional, but I didn't.
I mean, I can do it.
Yeah, I should have done it.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah, I definitely.
For my few people who are not done, I'll see you guys at lunch. So, if we move on.
We can take notes.
Yep, we are. Stick it on my desk by the computer so I can walk up.
Yeah.
Oh, and bring the towels back over here to Kara.
If you know how to write this, you get it. She doesn't expect you to know that much. Yeah. The easiest one I thought was pretty hard to write that. I did that. I did that one.
All right.
So we have a quiz tomorrow. Did you have any other questions?
Awesome.
If they ask.
Are we done? Moving on. Those of you who are talking, shut up. So, if we look at where we were last Friday, we talked about dissociation and precipitation. Those are the two things that are on your quiz tomorrow. All right, you need to be able to write dissociation equations or reactions, and you need to be able to write precipitation reactions. Lots of you, from what you turned in, can write those equations. Now, the question is, can you do it by yourself, or can you do it with a partner? If you can do it by yourself, then I would say you're in great shape for the quiz tomorrow. If you had to have your partner to write the precipitation reactions, you've got a problem because you don't get a partner to borrow the quiz. Okay? The quiz, of course, is for response. I'm not using multiple choice on reactions. There are 4 questions. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
It's gonna take half a page or a whole page.
I have no idea. Yes, we're going to write stuff there. All right, so there are lots of things we can talk about with solutions. All right. At this point, I'm sort of picking and choosing the things that I think are most likely going to be on the exam based on what's still left in the curriculum. Solutions can have multiple topics that go with it. Acids and bases, of course, are one that will hit the highlights of probably best guess Wednesday and Thursday. Now, electrolytes and reading a solubility graph are 2 things I think you probably might see on the exam. So we're going to do electrolytes. We're going to learn to calculate their concentration and read a solubility graph. I think that's where the focus would be if you're going to see something on solutions. So what is an electrolyte? An electrolyte is a material that, when dissolved in water, will conduct close electricity. All right. Now, the key to this here is it has to be what? Dissolved in water.
Aqueous?
Yes, it will be aqueous. So, if it has to be dissolved in water, can water itself be an electrolyte?
No.
No. Is water dissolved in itself?
No.
No,
It's water
that's why water is not an electrolyte, okay? Because water is not dissolved in itself, okay? Now, a non-electrolyte would be a what?
Water.
No, it's still a material.
When dissolved in water, will not produce.
That's right. It's a material when dissolved in water. Okay, will not conduct. And I shortened that one because it's the exact same definition. I just wrote less. All right, it's a material when dissolved in water will not conduct electricity. So the question becomes, what types of materials are electrolytes and what types of materials are non-electrolytes? The state test is not going to ask you a definition. Okay? I mean, they could, but I would be shocked if they asked a chemistry class a definition. They're more likely to say which of the following is an electrolyte and give you compounds, and you have to pick out the compound that is the electrolyte.
Isn't electrolytes like they're
Gatorade is an electrolyte.
yeah, like I was gonna say energy, like an energy drink.
Yes, energy drinks, Gatorade,
Because
Powerade, things like that.
we would play volleyball, and he was like, you don't need to drink water, you can, but you need to get your electrolytes up.
Okay?
So you can set them on fire?
Huh?
I'm sorry.
Yes, set Gatorade on fire.
Why would you set Gatorade on fire?
Or like you can make electricity?
Hold on, I'm lost. Why on earth?
You're saying,
Like when
because
you
it says
say
Gatorade
Gatorade,
conduct electricity,
How
can
would
you
you
do
do
anything
anything
else
else
with
with
You have
Water
to,
conducts
because it conducts electricity, can you do
Wait,
anything
so
else?
can you do like an experiment where Gatorade will conduct electricity?
Sure.
Like,
Will it work?
or something.
You could, those things are generally not going to provide enough power to charge your cell phone. All right. You can do potato labs to show the movement of electricity.
Yeah.
For example, if we spilled Gatorade all over the floor and we had an electrical current that was running through a cord, all right, and we put the electricity in the Gatorade and then you stepped into the Gatorade, you're going to feel the jolt. Okay? Because electricity flows through Gatorade. All right?
It's
Now,
like that Spider-Man, is that Spider-Man movie when he was just yelling at the dad? And he was
I worry about y'all when you don't tell me about cartoons.
Cartoons are real.
Now, we need to talk about 3 categories. I need to put a third one there. All right. So electrolytes can be further subdivided into strong, weak, and non-electrolytes. Now, a strong electrolyte, all right, will ionize or break apart 100% in water. Now, I used a really fancy word here. Ionize. Ionize means break apart 100% in water. All right, so if you have a strong electrolyte, such as salt, when you put it in water, it's going to break apart 100%. All those ions are going to dissolve. Okay? Now,
the last one you wrote?
non. Okay? Weak electrolytes, if I take that same definition, it'll mean what?
Won't ionize.
How?
Or 50%.
Okay, just not what? That's right. Okay? They will not ionize or break apart 100%. Okay? It's usually significantly less, but for us, as long as you know it's not 100%, we're good to go. Now, the non-electrolytes do not ionize how? At all.
Those birds need to stop chirping.
I can't control the birds.
Your hearing is
really
really good.
Huh?
Our hearing is really good. 'Cause I could barely hear them.
You right up with it. I'd be like, turn it somewhere else. I'm trying to sleep. It's supposed to calm me. I'm gonna fall. Guess what? I got the day off.
That's good.
I'm really happy.
I remember one time when
Our challenge is being able to tell the difference between a strong, a weak, and a non.
Oh God.
So clearly there have to be rules that go with this, right?
There's always some rules.
Probably.
Always some rules.
Can never be just simple.
Cannot be simple. Okay? It just can't. All right, have I given everybody a chance to catch up? All right. All right. Let me just skip that.
Oh, way to go.
All right. That's not what I want.
We're not talking about you.
All right. All right, so strong electrolytes. There are three kinds. Okay? Strong electrolytes are going to be ionic compounds. I can make that argument for several people in here. Strong acids and strong bases. Okay? Strong electrolytes are going to be ionic compounds, strong acids.
Are we writing something with this?
I'm going to come back to it. And strong bases.
Is it going to be a long?
I'm supposed to estimate.
Okay?
Right, look at how much room I left. 'Cause I thought we were about to-
Wait a Right now,
I
wait.
only wrote 4 sentences on the recipe.
You're not going to be happy with those. All right? So, to be a weak electrolyte.
Jesus.
Wait.
Strong acids have a list of 7 we have to write down.
Lord.
Okay? And you got to memorize them.
Wait, you love
So we're writing stuff?
You love
I'm just giving you a summary of what fits where. To be a weak electrolyte, you have to be a weak acid
Oh. Are you?
or
types.
a weak base.
2 types is 2.
It's only those 2. Okay? And to be a non-electrolyte, there's only one thing that can be a non-electrolyte. It's the only kind of compound I hadn't mentioned. That's it. Non-electrolytes are covalent compounds. So,
That's what it says though.
so our challenge is figuring out how to tell the difference. Okay? Ionic and covalent, at this point, we should be able to do. Right? Somebody tell me how to identify an ionic compound real quick.
There's 2 things on the right.
Okay.
The metal and a non-metal.
Thank God there's somebody who knows. Okay, so we got a metal and a non-metal for ionic, right? How do we tell covalent? Okay, so we got 2 non-metals. All right, so now we need to figure out how to tell an acid and a base. And then be able to tell if it's strong or weak. There is no look it up on a chart. Well, you can Google it during the test, but I'm pretty sure they're going to get you for cheating and they're going to give you a 0. Okay?
Right.
You said Google the assets that like we have to.
Now, Everybody got it?
Wait, you said there was 7. Where's the other one?
All right, so there are 7 strong acids. You have to memorize the 7 strong acids. If they're not strong, they're automatically what?
Weak.
They're automatically weak. Everybody got it?
Sure.
All right. So the strong acids are these: HCl, HI, HBr. No, all acids start with H. HNO3, H2SO4, HClO3, and HClO4. Now, HCl is called hydrochloric. You got to know it both ways. They're not necessarily going to give you the formula.
Miss Wall, not leave no space for that.
Right.
Hey, you need
You need to say this beforehand.
Yeah, thank you.
We don't have a big whiteboard to write on and just erase it, nothing left. Writing a pen.
Tell somebody who cares.
Wow, you're so unbothering. It bothers me.
You guys just think Miss Wall cares when I don't.
Whoa!
I told some old lady to get out of my way at the recital on Friday because she was blocking my view. You think I care what y'all's problem is?
You didn't say excuse me, you literally said get out of my way.
I really did. She was standing in my way
Now, see, I wish I could.
and she was blocking my view of the show when my daughter was dancing. She should not have stood in front of me in the aisle.
Did you at the chorus concert? There was these people, they were, I don't know, they kept standing up
Exactly.
during the dances.
Exactly.
They would stand up, switch seats,
Exactly.
stand up, and I was like, Mom, she gets so mad at me when I'm in public with her because I was cheering.
Put your
for
butt in
people.
a chair.
I was
and stay
cheering
there.
for people. Oh, they're
Oh, she said
I was cheering for people. Mom said, like, shush. And then they stood up and I was like, are you serious? And she was like, Annabelle, be quiet. And they're
She would have been
standing.
really annoyed with me.
She
Friday
just
night.
always has to be the bigger, nicer person, and it just.
I
makes
normally am,
noise.
but on Friday night I lost my patience. And she was an older lady too.
Friday night.
Huh?
The old lady said that way.
Okay. Sarah Lynn, stand up for a second. All right, so I'm sitting here, and this is the old lady in front of me. I can't see the stage. She's standing there. So I told her, get out of my way. And I didn't say please.
Why should say excuse
Wait,
me?
Can you please move?
Ma'am?
Sit down.
I was annoyed by them.
Ma'am, could you get
So, if you're not one of these 7, so if you're not one of these 7, you're automatically what? You're automatically weak. Weak acids are all others. Now, if you listen to Annabelle, real quick so you can pack up. What did she tell you about all these acids?
Start with H's.
They start with H's. That's how you recognize an acid.
You already knew that.
They start with H's. You should from some other science class. It should not be mine. But if you don't, and nobody told you that before, all acids start with H. Okay? If you don't know that, make a little note to yourself. They start with hydrogen. So, your homework is to do what? Study for your quiz. Practice if you don't know how to do it by yourself. If you need makeup work, you have today and Wednesday. That's it. My AP folks, lots of you have not finished stuff. I'm waiting on you to hand back papers. Please come finish your quizzes.